To figure out the secant of 225 degrees using the unit circle, you would have to identify first 225 degrees, which is right here, and remember that secant is the partner of cosine. So if you can remember that secant and cosine go together, what we're actually going to do is we're going to find our cosine value, which is, always remember, our x value, so it's this right here, and then we're going to take the reciprocal of that. So I'm going to take negative square root 2 over 2, that's the cosine, so I'm going to write that down. If I want secant, I would flip that upside down. So it would be negative 2 over square root 2, and now I have to rationalize. So I'm going to multiply by the square root of 2 over 2. This would give me negative 2 square root 2 over 2, and then these 2's on the outside cancel out. So my final answer would just be negative square root 2. If you did not want to use the unit circle, we would first graph 225 degrees, which would be in quadrant 3, because it's between 180 and 270. It's actually exactly in the middle of the two. So this would be my 225 degree angle. Now I'm going to connect the x-axis and make it into a right triangle. In order to figure out my reference angle, because we're in quadrant 3, I'm going to take my angle, which is 225, and subtract 180. So my reference angle is 45. So this is 45 degrees. This also is 45 degrees. Now I can label the sides of my triangle. So this is going to be my x and my y. My x value, so across from the 45 degree angles, both of them are always the square root of 2 over 2. Because we're in quadrant 3, this point here, I would have to go left and down. Those are both negative directions. So both of my coordinates are going to be negative square root of 2 over 2. Now I need to know what the secant is. So I'm going to focus on my x value, because I know that my x value is cosine. So if I can figure out that this is cosine, then I would just take this thing and flip it upside down, which is exactly what I did over here. So either way, you should get the same answer. It just depends on whether you prefer looking at the unit circle or whether you prefer drawing your triangle every time. Using the unit circle to find cosine of 150 is very simple. All we're going to do is find 150 on the unit circle, which is right here, and our cosine value is always our x value. So the answer to this problem is going to be negative square root of 3 over 2. If you didn't want to use the unit circle, you would draw the angle 150, which is going to be in quadrant 2, because 150 is between 90 and 180. So I'm going to draw my angle here. And then I want to make it into a triangle by drawing a line that goes straight to the x-axis. To find my reference angle, because we're in quadrant 2, I would do 180 minus my angle. So my reference angle is going to be 30, which means this angle up here at the top will be 60. And now we can label our sides for x and y. I know that r is always going to be 1. For my x value, that's across from the 60 degree angle. That means it's going to be the square root of 3 over 2. And then my y value is across from my 30 degree angle, which will be 1/2. And now this ordered pair up here, if I were to make it into a coordinate, 2 coordinates, my x value would be going left. So this should be negative root 3 over 2. And then my y value is going up, so it stays positive. And then you just need to know that your cosine value is always the same as your x value. So again, we got the negative square root of 3 over 2.